When was the last time kindness completely shattered you? I was 22 when my elderly neighbor, Mr. Delaney, started forgetting things. At first, it seemed harmless, leaving groceries outside overnight, calling me by the wrong name, asking the same question over and over. Most people in the neighborhood noticed, but nobody really stepped in because Mr. Delaney wasn't exactly friendly. He yelled at kids for being too loud and once threatened to tow my car for blocking half his driveway for 30 seconds. But one freezing morning, I found him outside in slippers during a snowstorm trying to walk to work. The man had been retired for 15 years. I helped him back inside and realized his electricity had been shut off because he forgot to pay the bill. His fridge was basically empty. That was the moment I understood he had nobody. His wife had died years earlier, and his only son passed away in the military. So I started checking on him after work. At first, it was little things: groceries, medications, helping clean the house. But dementia doesn't stay little for long. Soon, he forgot how to use the microwave. Then he started wandering outside at night. One time, I found him halfway down the block in the snow carrying a suitcase because he thought he needed to pick his son up from school. Yeah, it got worse. His insurance barely covered anything, and the waiting list for assisted living was months long. So somehow, I became the person keeping him afloat. I'd cook dinner, organize his medicine, and sit with him while he repeated the same stories over and over about his wife and son. Sometimes he remembered me. Sometimes he thought I was somebody else entirely. One night, while I was helping him take his medication, he quietly asked me, "Am I dying?" I didn't know what to say, so I just told him, "Not tonight." Then came the worst night. The police called me at 4 a.m. after finding him wandering near the highway in pajamas during freezing rain. At the hospital, the doctor told me he couldn't safely live alone anymore, but there were no relatives willing to take responsibility for him. So I signed the emergency caregiver paperwork myself. For the next several months, he lived with me. I slept on the couch because he got scared waking up alone at night. I learned how to calm panic attacks and redirect confusion when he asked where his dead wife was. Then, one afternoon, during one of his rare clear moments, he looked at me and said something that completely broke me. "You stayed." Just 2 words, like he'd spent his whole life expecting everyone to eventually leave him behind. Mr. Delaney had passed away 3 weeks later, holding my hand. At the funeral, a lawyer gave me an envelope with an old family photo inside. On the back, he'd written one sentence: "Thank you for making sure I wasn't alone at the end."